If you often wake up in the middle of the night to rub your freezing feet, you are not alone. Many older adults reach for thicker socks or heavier blankets, but the chill never seems to fully go away. If your feet still feel cold under all those layers, do not rush to blame your age alone. The real reason might not be about the cold air outside your body. It is often about the warmth inside. Our blood carries warmth, but your feet are the farthest point from your heart, making them the hardest place to heat. To keep your toes warm, blood has to travel all the way down your legs and then make the long trip back up. As we get older, our blood vessels can become a bit less flexible, which can naturally slow this process down. But there is another factor that plays a huge role in how warm your feet feel at night: your daily routine. Think about how you spend the few hours right before you go to bed. If you sit for long periods while watching television or reading, your circulation naturally starts to quiet down. Without movement, fluid and blood can slowly pool in the lower legs, making it much harder for fresh blood to circulate. This is a common reason why feet feel like blocks of ice, even when the rest of your body is perfectly comfortable. The good news is, you do not need to do a heavy workout before bed to change this. You just need to know how to gently activate the natural pumping system hidden inside your lower legs. Medical professionals often call this area your second heart. Let's look at how it works. When we talk about circulation, we usually think of the heart in our chest doing all the work. But your heart is only responsible for pumping fresh, oxygen-rich blood out to the rest of your body. Once that blood reaches your feet, it has to fight gravity to travel all the way back up. The heart in your chest is simply not strong enough to pull that blood back up on its own. That is exactly where your calf muscles come in. They act as a powerful secondary pump for your legs. Every time you step, walk, or flex your ankle, your calf muscles squeeze the deep veins inside your leg. This squeezing motion acts like a one-way valve, physically pushing the blood back up toward your chest. When you sit or lie still for hours, this second heart goes completely to sleep. During a long evening of watching television, those muscles are not contracting to help circulate the fluid. The blood can linger in the lower legs, which often leaves the feet feeling cold, stiff, or heavy. Many people notice a dull ache or numbness simply because the tissues are waiting for fresh, warm circulation. Adding more blankets will trap whatever heat is already there, but it does not bring fresh heat to the area. To actually warm up the feet from the inside out, we have to wake up that calf pump. You might be wondering if you need to start doing jumping jacks before bed. Thankfully, you do not. Small, gentle movements are often enough to get the blood flowing again without disrupting your ability to sleep. Before we get to the bedtime routine, I want you to feel this second heart working for yourself. You can do this simple test right now, exactly where you are sitting today. Place one hand gently on the back of your lower leg, right over the thickest part of your calf muscle. Now, slowly lift your heel off the floor while keeping your toes firmly pressed down. Do you feel that firm, distinct tightening of the muscle right under your hand? That tightening is not just a muscle flexing. That is your secondary pump successfully activating. Every single time that muscle tightens, it acts exactly like a sponge being firmly squeezed. It forces the old, pooled fluid upward and completely out of the lower leg area. And as soon as you lower your heel back down, the muscle fully relaxes. This relaxation creates a gentle vacuum, pulling fresh, warm blood down from your core into your feet. It is a beautiful, efficient cycle. Squeeze to clear the old, relax to pull in new. This is exactly why walking briskly makes your whole body, including your feet, feel so warm. But when we finally sit down to rest in the evening, we naturally stop doing this. The pump goes completely quiet, the fluid settles, and the temperature in your toes drops. Understanding this feeling is the true key to finally fixing those cold feet for good. Now that we understand the pump, let's look at how a typical evening routine actually shuts it down. After dinner, you might sit quietly for 2 or 3 hours, reading or watching your favorite shows. During this extended period of relaxation, your legs remain entirely motionless, and the pump goes to sleep. Without the muscle actively contracting, the blood simply waits at the bottom of the hill, slowly pooling. The natural warmth from your core never reaches your toes because the delivery system is temporarily paused. When you finally get into bed and pull the covers up, you are wrapping up cold, stagnant fluid. This is why those expensive thermal socks often fail to provide any real, lasting relief at night. This lack of evening movement can also lead to other very frustrating issues while you try to sleep. When your leg muscles sit in pooled, deoxygenated blood for hours, they can become highly irritable. This is a major, hidden trigger for those sudden and painful midnight calf cramps that wake you up. Many people also avoid drinking water in the evening to prevent late-night trips to the bathroom. But mild dehydration makes your blood slightly thicker, forcing your circulation to work even harder. This combination of sitting completely still and mild dehydration creates the perfect recipe for freezing feet. For the vast majority of people, this is simply a mechanical habit that is very easy to fix. However, there are certain times when cold feet are actually a warning sign from your body. It is incredibly important to know the difference between a harmless sleepy muscle and a real medical issue. While most evening chills are just mechanical habits, we can use 3 simple rules to check. The very first thing to check is symmetry. Look at both of your feet together. A dormant calf muscle pump will almost always affect both of your legs equally at once. Because you are sitting completely still, both legs stop pumping, meaning both feet feel chilly. However, if only one foot is freezing cold while the other feels perfectly warm, pay attention. The second way to evaluate your symptoms is to use the simple movement test. Normal cold feet should start to feel noticeably better once you get up and walk around inside. Once that pump is activated, the fresh blood should easily reach your toes and relieve the cold. If the freezing sensation or deep numbness persists even after you have been actively moving, it tells us the circulation is struggling, regardless of whether the calf pump is working. Finally, we need to pay close attention to the exact sensation you feel. A general, dull ache or feeling like blocks of ice is very common, simply from inactivity. But sharp tingling, painful pins and needles, or a complete loss of feeling mean nerves and major vessels are involved. If you fail these basic checks, it could be a sign of a specific condition affecting millions of seniors. That condition is called Peripheral Artery Disease, or PAD, and it is entirely different from simple inactivity. According to the American Heart Association, PAD affects over 8 million Americans, primarily older adults. Instead of a lazy muscle pump, PAD means the actual delivery tubes, your arteries, have become physically narrowed. Over time, fatty deposits called plaque can build up along the inner walls of the leg arteries. Because the path is blocked, fresh, warm blood simply cannot reach your feet in enough volume. This is why the movement test fails. With PAD, walking does not fix the cold feeling. In fact, the hallmark warning sign of PAD is that walking actually causes pain. This specific type of pain is called claudication. Your calf muscles cramp up because they demand more oxygen. But because the artery is blocked, the oxygen simply cannot arrive fast enough during exercise. If you find that resting makes the pain go away entirely, that is a huge clue. Another major red flag for PAD is noticing distinct changes in the skin itself. Look for toes that appear unusually pale or bluish, shiny skin, or a sudden loss of hair. If you notice any of these specific red flags, please do not try to exercise it away. Schedule an appointment with your doctor so they can check your pulses and artery health. But if your cold feet are symmetrical and safely feel better when you walk, great news. You simply have a sleepy secondary pump, and we are going to fix that right now. Let's build a simple, 3-minute bedtime routine that you can easily start doing tonight. Step 1 is preparing the blood. Do this about an hour before you go to bed. Drink just 1 small glass of slightly warm water, not hot and definitely not cold. 4 to 6 ounces is not enough to interrupt your sleep with extra bathroom trips. But that small amount keeps the blood smooth, and the warmth gently encourages your blood vessels to relax. Step 2 is preparing the pipes. This happens right when you get into bed. When you lie back on your mattress, do not just leave your legs flat on the sheets. Instead, take a firm pillow or a rolled-up blanket and slide it right under your lower legs. Your goal is to have your feet resting just a few inches higher than your heart level. By simply raising your legs, you are finally using gravity to help you, rather than fight you. That pooled, cold fluid sitting in your calves naturally drains back down toward your core instantly. Just resting peacefully in this elevated position for about 1 minute is enough to clear the pipes. This simple act prepares the empty vessels perfectly to receive the fresh, warm blood we need. Now that the old fluid is clearing out, it is time to turn your internal heater on. Step 3 is the activation phase. We use micro movements to wake up the pump. Keep your legs elevated on the pillow. You do not need to sit up whatsoever. Slowly rotate both of your ankles in wide, smooth circles. Do this 5 times outward. Then, briefly pause and slowly rotate them 5 times inward. Keep the movement very gentle. This circular motion gently engages every single part of your lower calf muscle without straining. Next, we will do a simple push and pull motion, just like pressing a gas pedal. Point your toes away from you for 2 seconds, then pull them back toward your chest. This creates the exact squeezing and relaxing vacuum effect we need to pull fresh blood down. Repeat this push and pull motion 10 times. It should feel relaxing, not like a workout. Once you finish, simply pull your blankets over your freshly warmed feet and completely relax. Your lower legs are now filled with fresh, oxygen-rich blood straight from your core. You have successfully turned on your secondary pump, and the heat is trapped inside the blankets. Not only will your feet feel toasty warm, but your muscles are now fully oxygenated. This drastically reduces your risk of waking up with those painful midnight calf cramps. But before you try this tonight, there is one evening habit that can ruin this entire process. That habit is having a nightcap, like a glass of wine or alcohol, right before sleep. While alcohol might make you feel drowsy initially, it acts as a very strong diuretic. It quietly drains water from your system while you sleep, making your blood thicker again. This completely undoes the warm hydration step, making it much harder for blood to circulate. So, to keep your internal heater running smoothly all night long, let's quickly review the routine. First, have that small glass of warm water about an hour before you sleep. Second, support your lower legs on a firm pillow to help drain the pooled fluid. And third, perform your gentle ankle circles and foot pumps to pull the warmth down. Within just minutes, your secondary pump will send that beautiful, warm blood straight to your toes. And you can finally enjoy a restful, comfortable night of sleep without constantly rubbing your feet. Your body has amazing, built-in systems designed to heal, protect, and comfort itself naturally. You just need to know how to turn those switches on. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe for more evidence-based health tips. This video is for general educational purposes only and does not replace professional medical advice. Always consult your healthcare provider before starting any new routine. Stay warm and stay healthy.